My name is David. I am a psychologist from the Caribbean. And several years ago, I wrote this book that condenses or distills the major theories of psychology into haikus. So a haiku is a beautiful thing. It is a form of Japanese poetry, and its beauty is in its length. It's very short. It's 3 lines long, 17 syllables, and that kind of assisted me to go so deep into a theory and pull out the theory's heart and put it on paper in a bite-sized format. And in this video, I am going to tell you why I made this book, my process, the outcome of the book, and who it's for, and whatever else I feel like talking about. And just so you know, my dog is right by my feet, so if there's any interruptions in this video, it's because of Sammy tickling my toes. So we are going to continue. Why? Why did I write this book? It's such a unique book, such a different book. And honestly, the reason is quite shallow. It's the reasoning is I'm not really proud about, but I'll tell you. So during COVID-19, I was doing my undergrad in psychology at the University of the West Indies. And I was considering, where will I study my master's degree? And with most Caribbean people, we have this idea that outside Trinidad, outside the Caribbean, especially in Europe, is this holy land of education. I feel like this is the belief around the world, and partially because it's true. There's a lot of good education to be found in Europe. But I thought, why would these European universities want to accept me, this lowly, most fallen individual from a small island in the Caribbean? So I thought, what can I do to make myself stand out? And I was just churning that idea in my mind, and this came. I mean, I've been writing poetry for a long time, so it wasn't that unusual or thought to write poetry, but the idea came. Let me show them that I really understand psychology, and I can do that by writing a haiku about each theory. So how did I begin the process? I gathered data. That's the first step in my writing process. I collected, or I did like a survey of psychology. I found maybe like 80 theories, and I began to just draw knowledge from many different sources, from original texts, from school, from commenters on different texts, from research that was available online, and I just gathered a huge database of knowledge. And then I took each theory one by one and began to churn the knowledge in my mind, absorb it, and then at 4 o'clock every day, I went outside with a cup of coffee, the holy grail of writing, and I just stared. I stared. My process is staring. I'm staring inwards with clarity. I'm staring outwards, and what arises is inspiration, is words as symbols. And something I just want to touch here on poetry, that a lot of people think it comes from inside, but when you really get deep into the moment of writing, when you pause, when you settle yourself, when you get into that contemplative, reflective state of mind, the environment, in my experience, begins to interact with you in a way that is aligned to what you're writing. This sounds very magical, but this is just my subjective experience about writing over time, that the ants around you may inspire you, the birds, the way a cloud is formed, the shadows off of the trees, the breeze, my dog by my feet. I'm sitting under mango trees, and one may fall, and they have been falling. So if you see me get hit by a mango, that will probably increase my viewer rate. But it happens when you're so aligned to the moment that inside and outside begin to blur, and inspiration draws, and you begin to write. And that's my process with this book. That's my process with all of my books. to be so open to the moment that I can translate something that is subtle and beautiful. And so I did that with each theory, and it was such a great process. Let me see if there's one here I could read quickly that might capture it. There's one on CBT. Everybody knows CBT. Just give me a moment while I find it. Cognitive. Oh my gosh, why is it so hard to find? Cognitive behavioral therapy. Okay. Remember, it's 3 lines, 17 syllables. The first line for CBT, a haiku on CBT. Life is a garden. The first line. Second line, nurture the soil, plant good seeds. Third line, prune wise, good farmer. Pruning is at the heart of CBT. Pruning thoughts, pruning emotions, pruning core beliefs. And the pruning is not as vicious as it sounds. Pruning is gentle. You have to delicately remove vines. You have to remove pests. You have to, a branch might be broken. You might need to mend the branch. You might need to give it support. You might need to cut it off. But the idea is that life is a garden. The mind is a garden. The mind is alive. The mind grows. You nurture the soil. You plant the seeds. And that kind of gets to the heart of what I think CBT is. It's a filter to understand the patterns of the mind, and that you are involved in this pattern making and pattern changing. So that's the process. That is an outcome of an example of a haiku. And let's see, like, what happened after I wrote this book. Quite a few interesting things. This became like one of my best-selling ones on Amazon. I say best-selling ones for me. It's not like it's selling thousands of books, but in terms of my collection of work, this one does the best. I think because the psychology market is big, and psychologists usually do have some disposable income. It's also a really cool gift for psychologists. So people, I think they buy it for their psychologist friends when they don't know what else to give them. Because most psychologists just want to be alone. that would be the greatest gift, to just have some peace and quiet. One of the most meaningful things that happened after writing this book was a professor from America liked my book a lot, and he was a speaker at a conference, and he brought several copies of my books with him, and he just gave it to his friends as like, this is a really cool book, I thought you would like it. And for me, that was a really good inspiration that I'm on the right track, because I was in my undergrad, and to have an American professor share my books at a psychology conference without even my knowing, I found out about this later on, was really, I was really grateful. And to that professor, I don't know your name, I have it written down somewhere, but if you see this, I'm really grateful for your generosity. And so, who is it for? Well, it's for anyone who loves psychology and poetry. Psychology students, so often the textbooks are so rational and logical and just bullet points. But many psychologists, our minds are intuitive. We learn by symbols, and poetry is symbols. And so it's a shame that the poetry is not really associated with the teaching of psychology, because I feel like it could be very meaningful. But maybe some in analytical psychology with Jung, there was an emphasis on using symbols. But moreover, there are particular minds who learn in particular ways, and one of those ways is intuitive, is symbolic. So students of psychology, psychologists who want to view the different theories through another perspective, this book is great for them. Psychiatrists, social workers, coaches, people who like haikus. So that's people who have been buying it so far. So that's this book in a nutshell. I will be continuing I started a series on this where I talk about each haiku and I go into it, reflect on it. So I'm going to continue doing that. And this book is available on Amazon worldwide. If you want to support it, I'm a young psychologist and I do need your support. So if you feel inclined, if you feel inspired, you can buy the book. And I am currently taking more clients for these, where are we, 2026. This is the second leg of the year, so I'm taking new clients now. So if you are interested, you could message me, and if you feel aligned, if you resonate with what I'm saying, with my being, I'll be happy to work with you. So thank you. I'm going to start doing this more with the other books I have, sharing them on YouTube. And that's it for today.